I got a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones, oh baby, ooh ooh.
Welcome back to another edition of our NBA Weekly Recap Show. You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Q Walker, aka Nephew Q, and I got my guy.
I need no introduction, but I go by KJ. I don't need no introduction though. But yeah.
Anyways, it's Super Bowl Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I got on my Tampa Bay Bucks gear. Keezy has on his own.
I got on black. I'm with the refs today.
He's with the refs today, so
because I know they'll be with Tampa Bay too.
So he's with us
tight,
today. Yeah,
so.
the refs are with us today. But anyways, we already know what the ending's gonna be. Tampa Bay with the dub today. Tampa Bay with the dub today, as he laughs at me. But anyways, man, let's get right on into it. Let's recap last week's games as far as looking forward to this week's game. And before we do that, let's look at these NBA standings real quick. We got the Western Conference. We have the Utah Jazz, the surprising Utah Jazz in
Still
first place,
holding on number one,
18-5. Then you got the Lakers at number 2. At 17-6, and then you got the Clippers, the Jazz, which shout out to number 4, the Phoenix Suns in 5th, Portland Trailblazers at 6, the Golden State Warriors 7, and San Antonio Spurs at 8. And then right on the edge is the Memphis Grizzlies at 9, and then the Houston Rockets at 10. Keezy, anything about that stand out to you, man, as far as the West?
We're surprised about the Jazz, but when you look at their stats, I'm not really surprised they're in first place. But I guess outside of the top 3, I guess it probably really don't matter, really.
No, it really doesn't matter. I'm really kind of surprised to see. I guess it's not really a surprise, but the Denver Nuggets seem like they finally are starting to get it together. Even though Joker had 50 points last night and they still took an L. Yeah. But outside of that, outside of that, the Denver Nuggets are finally getting it together. The Phoenix Suns look like they're streaking too. Will they make some noise in the playoffs? That's to be determined. But you love you some Chris Paul. So.
I will say I am surprised about one team.
Who's that?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Why? Because what are they? They're in the 14th place, 9-14. Good lord.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not somewhere in the
mix,
that 4 to 6 range, something like that.
But since we're speaking on surprise teams, 2 teams I'm surprised at. One, Houston Rockets. They're playing a lot better. Addition by subtraction. Mm-hmm. They traded away James Harden, got Victor Oladipo, and you know the rest. Do you think while we're on the Rockets, you think Victor Oladipo stays with the Rockets for the remainder of the season?
No, I think he's moving again. I don't know where he's going, but I think he's on the move.
La La Land.
La La Land.
La La Land. That's where he's coming to.
Y'all don't have any more room.
Don't worry about what we got. You stay worried about the Nets and the 76ers and the Clippers.
What y'all gonna do? How y'all gonna get Oladipo?
Don't worry about that. You asking too many questions.
Who y'all gonna give up for Oladipo?
Don't worry about that. You worry about what your 3 teams are gonna do. We worry about what we're gonna do in LA. How about that? That's what we do. But anyways, my other surprise team is the Pelicans. I expected the Pelicans to be a lot better than what they are right now. You didn't?
No.
I guess because I looked at their young team and coaching with what's his name, Van Gundy. I figured they would be in a little bit better position. And Zion is actually averaging 23, 7, and 2.5 assists. He's having a good season. Brandon Ingram is kind of up and down this season, but I expected them to be in the race for the 7th, 8th spot. But right now they all the way in 12th, man. And
I think that they should have picked a coach with a better offensive track record.
That's true. That's true.
They got a lot of young talent, a lot of young weapons, and they're really not offensively. They're not great.
I think they have too many young weapons.
You can't never have too many. Now.
Yeah, you can, because don't nobody know what the hell to do out there. You need some kind of veteran out there to stabilize everything. Let them know, hey, look, this is how we gonna do this thing.
They got Redick, they got Bledsoe, they all veterans now. Brandon Ingram, he's a veteran now.
I'm going to ignore that shit as we go to the Eastern Conference, because man, speaking of JJ, he's about to go play for your Brooklyn Nets.
They need a shooter.
Yeah, they need a bench.
I don't know how they're going to give him the ball, but they need another shooter, though.
Hey, what I tell you? You better get it off the glass.
Better get out the glass and take off.
Better get out the glass, JJ. But anyways, let's slide over to the Eastern Conference, man, as we have the Philadelphia 76ers at 16-7 with first place. The Bucks at 14-8 at second. You got the Brooklyn Nets at 14-10 with the third spot, and then rounding out, you had the Celtics at 4, Pacers 5, the surprising Atlanta Hawks at 6, the Toronto Raptors finally at 7, the lonely New York Knicks at 8, and then you got Cleveland, the Hornets, and then the rest really don't even matter.
Else.
Yeah, the rest don't. What surprised you about this Eastern Conference? If anything surprises you at all?
The New York Knicks
At number 8, at 10 and 13,
they might actually make the playoffs this year.
they just got Derrick Rose.
They got Derrick Rose,
Even though
and they're the number 1 rated defensive team in the NBA,
which is very surprising.
I mean, they got Thibodeau though. He's always got a good defensive team.
Yeah, they got Mitchell Robinson, which is the big
Julius
man.
Randle's
balling. Yeah. So, what about your guy RJ Barrett? What's he doing?
Probably driving left still.
Sorry, Jack left.
I don't know if his right hand works.
Oh man, I remember you telling me that when he was at Duke. He's like, all he can do is go left. He tied that right.
He go left every time.
Every time.
Even if he go right, he dribble ball with his left hand.
So somehow, some way, he's going back left. Somehow, some way. To me, man, nothing really surprises me really outside of the Toronto Raptors sitting at the 7th spot. But I mean, losing Kawhi, and this is the second year without Kawhi, but Kyle Lowry's a year older. Fred VanVleet, didn't he have a 50 ball?
Yeah,
he had a 50 ball. Pascal Siakam, what happened to him?
Kendrick Perkins happened to him. Kendrick Perkins said he was a top 10 player in the league, and he jumped up too fast and put his foot in his mouth. And
he ain't been there. He ain't been there ever since, man. And then of course you got. Well, we'll talk about it later. You got the Washington Wizards all the way down at the 14th seed in the East at 5-14. But I mean, 1 through 4 is pretty much how we expected it to be with 76ers, Bucks, and Nets.
I think they're all gonna, jump back and forth as the season goes on.
Except for the 76ers, I think they got the number 1 seed locked up.
No, not yet.
Yeah, they do.
It's real early. 24 games in, looks like.
Yeah. But, KD's going to be out this whole week, so it's going to be Kyrie.
He'll be back on, I think they come back to the team on Tuesday.
He said Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, the NBA said Friday. The first game.
They play a bunch of bums all week.
The first game he comes back will be next Saturday against the Warriors.
Oh, well. They play bums all week. So
and, my MVP candidate.
Who's that?
Steph Curry.
You like Steph now?
I'm with you, Steph, baby. I'm with you, Steph, baby. But
if
anyway,
Steph was dark skinned, would you rock with him?
Nope.
I know.
Nope. It's only one dark skinned dude per NBA. That's LeBron James. That's it.
Okay.
But anyways, represent for us out there, Steph, man. Hold it down for us light skinned cats. But anyways, let's recap a couple of last week's games. Last week key games. Let's start with the Lakers and Nuggets. Lakers won 114 to the Nuggets 93, which I kind of told you the Lakers was gonna win, but you was all Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Last week
he played very bad. He had 13 points that game.
You know why he played bad?
Why?
Because we clamped down.
Oh, y'all did.
Because we clamped down.
The Nuggets was up like 12 points at halftime.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
The Lakers got hot the third quarter and outscored them by 20 points.
We do what we do.
And then the Nuggets came back and outscored them in the fourth quarter.
We do what we do.
So the Nuggets won 3 out of the 4 quarters.
The only quarter that matters is what?
None of the quarters matter. The final score is what matters. Okay, the final score is what matters.
What was the final score?
The Lakers won.
Okay, that's all I need to know. And then another great game from last week, which had everybody's attention. Well, a game that had everybody saying this is a potential NBA Finals preview, which is BS. But you had the Brooklyn Nets versus the LA Clippers, man. What was your thoughts?
Why is that BS, though?
Because we all know who's going out the West.
Because you think the Lakers are going to be there.
It's going to be Lakers and 76ers.
So,
anyways. He ignores me.
I don't have any comment on that. This was a good basketball game.
Yeah, it's exciting.
A real good basketball game.
If you never watched the NBA game before in your life, this was the game to watch to turn you on to basketball.
This was a good game.
Yeah, your guy Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, they play phenomenal.
Kyrie balled.
Yeah. Okay. I have made a post in the Beyond the Game group. If Kyrie plays like that in the playoffs, I don't see nobody beat him.
No, he had 39 points on 15 to 23 shooting.
Yeah.
James Harden had a triple-double, 23 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists. KD had 28.
Didn't he have? Was that the game he only had 13 shots? Was that the game?
Yeah,
Yeah, 13 shots.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
28 points on 13 shots.
Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, he was real good from the free throw line.
Like 13 shots, he got 28 points. But if they continue, if Kyrie's the X factor, if he continues to not only play but shoot like that, man, look, man, you know I'm LA all day, but
I know.
Shit,
but with all of that being said, and Kyrie playing that well, the Clippers should have won the game.
Yes,
the Clippers were ahead, and then they had a few silly fouls, and they let KD get to the free throw line. I think he hit like 8 straight free throws and got him the lead, and they just couldn't catch up after that. But I mean, Paul George had 26, Kawhi had 33. It was a real good game.
Yeah, that see, that scares me though. And the reason why it is because you had 2 quote unquote lockdown defenders, and yet James Harden and KD and Kyrie still did whatever the hell they wanted to do out
Yeah,
there.
you can't stop.
You're not gonna stop. This is the NBA, so the elite of the elite are gonna do what they do.
You can be a lockdown defender all day long. You're not gonna stop.
All I ask is bother them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let KD score 28 points on 13 shots.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you get 14 of them from the free throw line, though,
I mean, keep him off the line.
They couldn't
Body his little butt up. You know what I'm saying?
He's
a thin guy. Put that weight on him. Let him know you there all game.
He's been a monster in the mid range this season, and just nothing you can do. By the time he rises up and shoot off the top of you, it's nothing you can
6'10", and you got a 7-foot apex. It's a wrap. So, but yeah, man, shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. They are balling this past 2 weeks, and then we have the Celtics versus the Clippers. Matter of fact, the Nets Clippers game? Who did we have? I think you had the Nets. I had the Clippers.
I picked the Nets. You picked the
Clippers. Yeah, okay. I'll just make sure. And then the Celtics Clippers game. Did we both pick the Clippers in that game?
We both picked the Clippers in that.
Okay, and the Clippers lost 115 to 119. What's your thoughts on that game, man?
No Paul George that game for the Clippers. No Jaylen Brown for the Celtics.
He's not playing today either.
Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was out there giving whoever the business.
Who won it?
Man, they kept running ball screens to get him switched off. They were trying to get Kawhi switched off of him. And whenever they got that switch,
night.
He's going to work.
Night. Yeah. So shout out to Jason Tatum. He had a big week. And then to round it out, you had 76ers versus Brooklyn Nets, which you said last week this was a big week for the Clippers and the Nets last week, big games. What was your thoughts on this game?
I mean, Joel Embiid.
Your MVP candidate.
KD didn't play. So this is what I don't like about the Nets.
Okay.
KD didn't play.
Right.
They lose by 16 points.
Right.
KD played against the Clippers, who I think are probably better than the 76ers.
Right.
And they win.
Right.
So if anything happens to the Nets, the big three, and one of them's not healthy or one of them has an off night,
they're beatable.
Yeah, it's a wrap because they don't have anybody on the bench. They got Jeff Green and Joe Harris and Landry Shamet.
I was thinking
my guy.
Your favorite player in the NBA, Landry Shamet. Yeah. It's not even necessarily if somebody's unhealthy. Somebody gets in foul trouble.
Foul trouble, yeah.
Somebody gets in foul trouble. So like I said earlier, the Brooklyn Nets, if all three are on, there's pretty much nothing you could probably do to stop it. I don't care what team you're on in the league.
Yeah.
LA, both LA teams, Milwaukee, 76. I don't give a damn who you are.
Doesn't matter.
If them three are cooking it, it's pretty much a wrap. But again, they still got to tighten up defensively. They still got to do something with that. But man, Joel Embiid, he is balling. He's not my MVP candidate. He's yours. 76ers will. That was pretty much an Eastern Conference Finals preview.
Yeah, probably so.
You seen the results.
I think if you put KD back,
wait a minute.
That.
I ain't gonna do with that. KD didn't play. I ain't gonna do with that. I ain't gonna do with that. Speaking of Eastern Conference and Western Conference, man, the NBA. Well, Adam Silver just came out and announced the NBA will hold an AllStar Game this upcoming season. NBA players such as Giannis and LeBron James have voiced their displeasure about it. Man, what's your thoughts on the NBA adding this AllStar Game?
It's tradition.
Okay, it's tradition.
For one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to quit crying. For two.
Okay. Quit crying.
LeBron's complaining about.
Here we go. I knew how somehow, some way he was going to get thrown in the mix.
LeBron said, "We only had 12 days off and we didn't get enough rest, and now we got to get ready for an All-Star Game."
Is that LeBron's voice? Is that his voice? Okay.
But if he don't want to play, don't play.
Makes sense.
If he don't want to play, don't play.
So, my thing is okay. Taking what you just said, I'm gonna go with it from a health aspect. Is that I think the owners have gotten greedy and we're like, okay, we convinced them to do 72 games and start in December, right after we had the NBA Finals in October. They see that the season has progressed nicely. We've had a hiccup here and there, but it's not been that big of a problem as far as COVID and things of that nature. So they're like, well, hell, let's try to squeeze this damn All-Star Game in here and get some more revenue.
I mean, there aren't going to be any fans there.
That's why I don't understand it. It's not going to make no sense because I think the owners are like, well, shit, we need some more money. Let's throw another All-Star Game in there and get some more revenue about this thing. Let's squeeze all this out of it as we can. But then at the same time, the NBA is preaching COVID and safety protocols, and then you're adding an extra exhibition game that doesn't need to be there. So it's like kind of contradicting themselves. It's like, okay, we want the game to be safe for our players. We're going to play 72 games. These are COVID protocols. We want everybody to be safe. We have to play these mandated games. But let's throw an exhibition game in there too.
I mean, it's the NBA All-Star Game.
Nah, and it's in Atlanta too. They don't, man. It's a COVID hotspot.
COVID Central.
Yeah, it's a COVID hotspot too. Now, if they headed somewhere like, I don't know, where they playing
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, where not too many people out there. Then yeah, okay, cool. But you having it in Atlanta too. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, I'm right there with the players. I don't really think they should have an All-Star game. It's going to be pointless. No fans are going to be there. I mean, they're going to do a slam dunk competition, and most of those players feed off the fans. Off the crowd, you know, so it's going to be weird.
The fanfare makes the All-Star game the All-Star.
It does. It does, man. So it'll be.
Can you imagine a quiet building if somebody throws down a crazy dunk? You know, you don't have. It's just not the same.
That's the first. Pretty much 3.5 quarters of the All-Star game. It's just spectacular plays in the crowd. Oh, nobody's there, man. It's like it's weird, man. But anyways, long story short, the players are gonna do it. They ain't got no choice.
Correct.
So they're gonna do it anyways. Speaking of All-Stars, man, we're gonna talk about a guy who got an All-Star snub last season while averaging 30 points per game, Mr. Bradley Barenthal. Beal, I don't even know if that's his middle name. There was a lot of trade speculation and rumors about him being traded. The front office said they are not trading him. Bradley Beal said he wants to stay. Keezy, why I put this Bradley Beal thing up here, man? To start the season off, Bradley Beal has had the most consecutive games of 25 plus more points to start an NBA season since 1976. 1977, and he's leading the NBA in points per game right now. What the hell is going on with Bradley Beal saying he doesn't want to leave?
You know, I watched the Wizards when they beat the Nets last week.
Right. Okay.
And I think when I turned the game on, he had maybe 15 points or something like that, and it was a few minutes into the third quarter, and he ended up with almost 40. And he was just out there just making it look easy. He was whatever defender was on him. It didn't really matter. He was just right now offensively. He's on another level.
Yeah, he is.
And I don't know why he would want to sit around in DC on a mediocre team. And he kind of reminds me of Devin Booker. But the Suns are better this year, though. I mean, they might actually make the playoffs.
They got a shot. They have a shot.
They have a shot to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Wizards have no shot in hell.
I feel like they're probably the two best offensive young guys there are.
I agree with that.
And they're both just sitting around on mediocre teams. I mean, everybody's not going to be on the winning team. Everybody's not going to win a championship. But if you keep playing in Washington, you're definitely not going to win a championship. You probably might even make the playoffs for 10 years.
But see, this is my thing to piggyback off of what you just said. There's only, let's be honest, in the NBA, it's not like the NFL where in the NFL you got 10 teams that has a potential shot to win it all. In the NBA, you have maybe 5. Yeah. Lakers, Clippers, Nets. Bucks, 76ers, and Nets. That's pretty much it. But the thing about it is for these other franchises, is your goal is supposed to be to get to that point, which is building a team. Washington ain't never built no damn team. Even when they had Chris Webber and Juwan Howard and Rod Strickland, that's probably the best quote-unquote team they ever had out there. Yeah. But for Bradley Beal, this is my thing, is he has the KG syndrome, which is KG was just too loyal to Minnesota. They had to basically force him out of there. Same thing is going to happen to Bradley Beal. I think really he wants out of there, but he's just saying the right things.
He said that he thinks that's the place they can win.
Win what?
Exactly. I mean, I know he only went to college for 1 year, but I still think he should be smarter than that.
Like I said, I think he's just saying the right things, but inside, I know he's like, bro, get me the hell on up out of here.
He said he wants to win. He thinks that's the place he can do it in.
But see, and this is the LeBron James thing, which is teaming up and all of that type of stuff. I'm against teaming up if your franchise is doing everything they can to keep you, meaning they're trying to put pieces around you, but the pieces just aren't working. And then you leave, then that's a sucker move to me, because the franchise is at least trying. But if your franchise is not trying, example, the Wizards, you have every right to be like, all right, bro, they ain't, all right, let me go.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get it.
I got to get it. Yo, you traded John Wall for Westbrook. Like, what are we doing here? And then you drafted and got, anyways.
They drafted, what's his name? Rui Hachimura or whatever his name is, Hachimura.
Him, Otto Porter Jr., Kelly Oubre, which they traded away.
They got rid of him.
Yeah, so it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? But Bradley Beal, I hope he gets traded soon to my Lakers, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. We can
everybody gonna go to the Lakers, ain't they? Bradley Beal going to the Lakers. Who else is going to the Lakers? Oladipo's going to the Lakers.
And then when Andre Drummond get bought out, he's coming to the Lakers.
Going to the Lakers. Yep. Chris Paul was going to get brought out. He was going to go to the Lakers.
That's his fault.
Man, y'all was going to have the Monstars.
2K21 squad.
Yeah, exactly.
2K21 squad.
I tell you what.
But anyways, yeah, Bradley Beal, man, he's just stuck in a situation, and I hope he gets out of there soon. Free Bradley Beal.
It's kind of like being in a bad relationship, but you just can't leave. You can't leave.
you can't leave because you got comfortable.
Leave. Yeah, you can't leave.
It's like, I know you, you know me.
Y'all bought a house together or something like that, and you can't leave.
You can't leave, and it's like, well, I might as well just go and stay here.
I'm going to sleep downstairs, you know.
We really don't even like each other for real.
I'm gonna sleep downstairs.
I'm gonna just sleep downstairs, man. That's just crazy. But man, moving on to this week's upcoming games. One of the games I want to talk about, have you talk about, is the Bucks versus Suns. Who you like in this matchup?
The Bucks and the Suns. I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this one.
Okay.
I like Phoenix.
Okay.
Pretty good defensively, but I think they're 26th in the league offensively.
Okay, so they just can't put up no buckets.
They just can't put up any
But
buckets.
that's weird, though, because you got DeAndre, Chris Paul, and what's that boy? Devin Booker. So you would think that they would be able to generate a lot of points.
They got a lot of 3-and-D guys. I mean,
something's not working. Who's the coach out there again? Is it Alvin Gentry?
No. The guy that used to be in New Orleans when AD was there.
That was Alvin Gentry, wasn't it?
Not Alvin Gentry. He's a younger guy.
Monty Williams. Monty
Williams.
Williams. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, Monty Williams. You would think that Monty Williams would have that thing rolling, but I mean, they're back where we expected them to be. Pretty much.
I mean, they got Chris Paul. I mean, he's supposed to be the point guard, but
point guard.
You know, he's super overrated in my opinion. But you know, hey, it is what it is.
Why is Chris Paul overrated to you, man?
He just is. He doesn't do anything great to me. Like, he's not a great shooter.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's not a great shooter. He's not a great on-the-ball defender.
Not anymore.
He never was a great on-the-ball defender.
Anymore.
He was good in the passing lanes. He got steals from that, but he was never a really good on-the-ball defender.
Chris Paul was a lockdown defender.
No, he always he got a lot of shaky moves from him. Anyways, I saw him turn around in circles a lot.
He did that. He did that. He
did
that. But Chris Paul's overrated, man.
A lot of people, Chris Paul, the third best point guard of all time.
Third best, Magic, Steph, and then Chris Paul. I'm assuming that's what they.
That's what people say. Some people say the second best point guard. Some people say
you can't be up that high without a
five.
You can't be up that high without a ring.
No, I'm not gonna put him ahead of Isaiah, Magic, Steph. I can just
keep going.
Hell, I take John Stockton.
The blasphemy, John Stockton over Chris Paul.
Man, I just can't. You know what I'm saying? What does he do? John Stockton didn't do.
Chris Paul got buckets. Chris Paul got buckets. John Stockton ain't never got a bucket. But anyways, let's go to another key matchup this week. You have the Philadelphia 76ers also against your Phoenix Suns. Man, why'd you get this one for another key matchup? Who you like?
Well, I'm just trying to see what the Suns are going to do.
Okay, so I see you had them too.
This is a big week for them. They playing some good teams from the East, and I just want to be able to see if they going to be for real or not.
This is, I guess you could say, like their barometer week. Let's see how good y'all really are against them.
This is to test you out against some good competition to see what you really going to do.
You know what? I see that because the Bucks game, you're going against Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and then Giannis. Mm-hmm. And then the 76ers is, okay, DeAndre, let's see where you at.
See where you are against Embiid.
Yeah. So I get where you're coming from. And then, Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris is balling. So we're going
to see what that, they got a lot of good wing defenders out there in Phoenix. So we're going to see what they do against Tobias Harris and these other dudes on the wing to see if they can,
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I see where you like it.
I got a little bit of method to the madness.
Speaking of method to the madness, let's go ahead and do Keezy's segment with Keezy's matchup of the week.
My matchup of the week. I got my close-up. Thank you. I finally made it. So, my matchup of the week is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, who are number 2 in the East currently, against the number 1 team, the best record in the league, the Utah Jazz. So, the reason this is my matchup of the week, not only are they both very high in their conference, but I want to see where the Jazz are against a team like the Bucks, who got some good, some good players on the wing, some good defenders. They got Drew Holiday, who's a good defender. Middleton's a good defender, and you got the reigning defensive player of the year, Giannis. He's a good defender. So, the Jazz are the third best defensive team in the league, and the Bucks they're kind of falling off a little bit defensively, but the Bucks are going up against the Jazz, who are the number 1 offensive rated team in the league and the number 3 defensive team in the league. The Jazz are the best 3-point shooting team in the league, and they're the number 1 offensive efficient team in the league. So we're gonna see what that Bucks defense can do against this Jazz team, who is just clicking on all cylinders. Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, we got Jordan Clarkson, who's playing well. Joe Ingles is out there making threes. We got Bogdanovich and Rudy Gobert, who got paid more money than he will ever deserve to play basketball in his life, locking it up in the paint. So this is my game of the week. I'm going to take the best defensive team and the best offensive team in the league. I'll go with the Utah Jazz and say that they win by 10, just an easy game. Giannis and the Bucks are going to lose. Giannis won't be MVP this year. They'll probably finish 4th in the East. And, he should have just gone to a different team or something. I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is. That's KJ's game of the week. And Q will be back in here at some point to, let me finish getting all these stats out in his head. Talk to him about Christmas. Hey! What's up, man?
So, hold on. Before we end the show, you got Milwaukee Bucks ending up 4th in the East?
Yeah, they'll probably end up 4th in the East or something like that. Drew Holiday, he'll be out of there after this season.
I'm going to see. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick, man, because I'm about tired of the blasphemy. So, they're currently sitting in 2nd and 4th.
14-8. Yes.
So, the Nets and the Celtics are going to leap them, is what you're telling me.
The Nets, the Celtics, the Pacers, the Raptors.
The Pacers, the Raptors.
The Knicks might catch them. I don't even know.
You really don't like Milwaukee? No, matter of fact, you don't like Milwaukee. You really don't like Giannis, do you?
I like Giannis.
I can't tell.
I mean, I like him.
I can't tell.
I don't love him. I like him. You know what I'm saying? He's cool, But I'm going to go with Philadelphia and Brooklyn 1-2. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Boston to jump up into that 3 spot. And really Milwaukee will finish 4th in the East.
You really don't like Giannis.
No.
But to cap off the show, man, one last thing before we get on up out of here. I didn't put it up here. You lucky I didn't put it. Shout out to LeBron James. He's the first player to ever 800 games of 25 points or more. Only player to ever do that. But when you're the GOAT, you do GOAT.
He played 40,000 games. He ought to have 800 of them.
Why you raising your voice at me? Why you yelling at me? Why you yelling at me, man? What?
Just another typical LeBron fan. Like, LeBron is going to hold every longevity. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not his fault he's been healthy his whole career. Right. Okay? And he's been able to play longer than pretty much everybody other than Kevin Willis, who played 27 years in the NBA, and Vince Carter. So, he's going to have almost every longevity stat there is.
You right.
That don't make him the GOAT to me. Just because you got to play longer than everybody else and you played at a high level don't mean that you're the greatest of all time to me.
That's because you just don't know any better. That's all that is. Best career ever. Greatest career ever. Who has had a better career? I didn't say best player. I said greatest career.
Better career. He's gonna have the greatest career.
That's what I said.
Of all time.
That's what I said. Greatest
That's
career.
That's not gonna make him the greatest basketball player.
I didn't even ask that. I just said
that's where you getting that. See, that's this LeBron fan argument. Man, if he got all the stats, then he gotta be the greatest.
I wouldn't even say
no, he does not.
I was just asking your opinion. The greatest career ever, NBA
My
career.
My opinion don't matter.
It don't matter. So yeah, you gonna give one. So it don't matter.
Yes, but he will have the greatest career numbers. Top to bottom,
ever.
Stat to stat, category to category.
He'll probably be, first in scoring. He'll be top 5, probably. Well, top 10. I'm sorry, in assists. Probably top 10 in rebounding.
I doubt he'll be top 10 in rebounding.
I think he got a shot.
He might. He got a shot.
He got a shot.
Yeah.
He got about as good a shot as the Phoenix Suns have of making the playoffs. How about that?
Yeah.
He got a shot. But anyways, man, we thank you for tuning in to another great show. You can catch previous shows on the YouTube channel, KY Beyond the Game. If you don't have time to sit down and watch the shows, you can always listen to it on all podcast streaming platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and a host of other streaming platforms that you can sit down, listen to us, and listen to him be wrong week after week. But anyways, KJ, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, to the LeBron fans out
What
there,
the hell?
if
We got
I'm
to go back
annoying
to the-
you, just continue to listen to the old shows and things like that, and you'll see that I stay on the same track the whole time, man. Ain't like I'm veering off point. I stay on point with LeBron.
Me too. Go.
I'm right.
Yeah, we all right. He's the GOAT.
He's top 3.
GOAT. Wait a minute. Now, last season you said 2. You said it was MJ, and then you said it was LeBron.
Well, and then I look back and I said, well,
Who'd you put in there?
I don't know, somebody.
Somebody, just
I'm
anybody.
Put somebody in there.
So it's Jordan, somebody, then LeBron.
Or Jordan, LeBron, and somebody. But it's always Jordan. Then it could be LeBron and somebody, or it could be Jordan, somebody, and LeBron. But it's always going to be Jordan.
That's fine.
That ain't going to stop.
That's fine. We'll just have to change your mind.
Good luck.
You have to change your mind.
And like I say, folks, I may not be right. I am never, ever, ever wrong.
Well, we getting ready to go on up out because I'm tired of dealing with this food. But we getting ready to go up out of here. But before we do that, we want you to treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. We out of this thing. Peace.
I got a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones. Oh, baby, ooh, ooh.